Alright guys, welcome to my JoJo video. Today we're going to be talking about JoJo Siwa, her merchandise such as her dolls, her makeup, and herself. And wait a minute. What's the, what?
ワムー目覚めたまえ我が主たちよ
You thought this was going to be just a JoJo Siwa video, but actually this is not a JoJo Siwa video. It is a JoJo video. Now let me just get one thing straight when starting off the bat with my JoJo video. This is people who watch JoJo compared to those who despise it. By the way, this is Washington Academy of Science approved, peer approved for science. Anyway, so people who hate JoJo, brain equals small. We could see here on this x-ray of a JoJo hater. We have hasn't seen real anime, truth. Doesn't understand culture, probably likes SAO. One of the leading factors why the brain is tiny. Alright, JoJo fans, humongous brain, has some excellent taste. Look at that brain. It can see like 20 million dimensions and stuff. You understand culture. And you can also name every truck in Slender Man. That's a very key, important feature of JoJo. And you can understand the memes. That's also a very good benefit. Alright, so let's go on to explaining the story. Spoiler warning. You have been warned. I will give you a countdown of 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. Alright, we're going now. Okay? Now. Alright, part one of JoJo. So this is part 1, Danny Phantom Blood. Okay, first off, we have the criminal. So like there's a carriage and stuff, it's on a cliff, and then carriage go woo, and then go upside down. Carriage go upside down. And two criminal people are up on this cliff, and they're like, hey, let's go rob the carriage. And this criminal's like, oh, I don't know. So then they just go on down, mosey on down. And the boy criminal finds this man here, lying on the ground. And he sees this ring, so he just goes, doop. Hold up. He just goes and takes it. But then, little does he know that the person on the ground wakes up a little bit and he's like, you saved me. Flawed logic, as you can see right here, but like it still works. And he's like, yeah, I totally saved you and stuff. And he's like, I'm in your debt. And then we zoom in and we see the mom not the mom. This female lady is dead in the carriage. She's just dead. And next to her in the carriage we have baby Juanathan here. Say hi to Juanathan. He's the main character. And he's crying. And she's like, honey, look, there's a baby here. And he's like, what? And then, because he's awake, he's like, oh, you saved my son as well. We are forever in your debt. And then, ominously, a mask appears next to him. I chose this mask because of the current times, but like, yeah, and it's all ominous, and it's on the ground. It's got the ominous JoJo things from up here. It has these all over it. Anyway, so let's move on to the next section of this very, very well thought out story. Alright, let's go to the plot. So anyway, we have buff boy Juanathan here, and he has crush on girl. Girl here is just chilling out and stuff, and they're like hanging out. But then boy brother who's the son of these two people is like, You owe my family a debt and stuff, and I'm here to repay it because my family are dead. That's right. These two died. They dead. Anyway, and he's like, "Let me be your stepbrother or something." And then he's like, "Okay." Or no, not him. This guy. He's like, "Okay." So anyway, so Dio is jealous of Juanathan's popularity thing, and he's like, and he steals kiss from girl. Juanathan mad, really mad. He beats up Dio, and Dio beats him up, and they punch each other a lot. And they find, yeah, basically that's just it. And then they find stone mask when beating each other up. This is the mask from here, but this is what it actually looks like. Anyway, the stone mask is a mask that they found while fighting Dio and Juanathan. And they found the mask, and it reacted to blood. Dio's like, "Whoa, it reacts to blood and stuff." And Jonathan's like, "Whoa, it reacts to blood and stuff." And they both know about it, but they don't know that each other know about it. That each of them know it. So then Jonathan experiments with it and stuff, and like he's like, "Blood makes it do the thing." And then Dio gets a hold of it, and he's like, "I'm gonna ambush Juanathan, cause I made Fred here sick, and that's his dad, and his dad's sick now, and now he's gonna have to find the medicine." And then Juanathan's like, "I'm gonna go find the medicine," and then he goes to an alleyway, and then all of a sudden, it's Spedwagon. He can't. It's Spedwagon. This man, this individual, it's Spedwagon. Hold up. Spedwagon, yeah. Spedwagon, yeah. And then he's like, "Woo, my hat can do weird things like slash your arm. My hat can do weird things like slash your arm and stuff, man. Whoa, you just got slashed." And Juanathan's like, "Ooh, I'll take it like a man." And then Spedwagon's like, "Oh, you're a man. I like that. I guess I'm part of your crew now." And then he's like, "Okay." And they get the medicine. Can you shut up? I'm trying to record the JoJo video. That's going in the video. All right. So then he's like, "Oh, I like the thing you get." He's like, "Yeah." And then they go and get the medicine. They come back, and Dio's like, "Oh, I killed him. I totally killed him and stuff, and I have the mask now." Ooh, and stuff. But then all of a sudden he drops the mask on a person's face, and he punched the person. There's blood on it, and then it stabs the man's brain and turns him into Count Chocula the vampire. Count Chocula the vampire. He kills him by sunlight because it was at night, and then morning came, and then he killed Count Chocula. But then Dio had a great idea. He's like, "What if I become Count Chocula?" So he became Count Chocula. He became Count Chocula, basically, because he did it to himself. And then Juanathan gets home and fights Dio while he's Count Chocula and stuff, and his house burns down and stuff. And then he's devastated, and then nursed back to health by a girl who we forgot about until just now. And then he's walking down with girl, and then all of a sudden, Baron Zipline here, this man here, he's a magic man, like this magic man guy. And then he comes up with this thing called hamon, which in Spanish means ham. So he comes up with it, and it's not actually ham. But he comes up with these magical powers and teaches him how to become magical, like Dragon Ball essence stuff going around him. And then he's just like, oh, cool, I know how to do it. I'm going to kill Dio. And then all of a sudden, this guy joins him in the middle because they don't like Dio. And then, yeah, and they walk, and then, oh no, he dies. And they're like, we got to avenge him. And the reason why I have this guy specifically was because he has this move where he basically, this is Dio, right here. This is him. So pretend like his head's still here, because it is. So he's like, ah! It's like really slow, but like he like jumps down really slowly with his legs. But then his legs just go, like, they're like scissors. So like if I were to copy, so let me show you an accurate representation. So like his leg would go like this. His other leg would be like this. So he'd go like this, basically. He'd be like a scissor motion, and it'd go and smacks him with the heels of his foot. But the thing is that Dio's like, no, 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 good sir, you are dead. And then he becomes headless. Yeah. And then Juanathan gets really mad and cuts Dio's head off with a sword. And Dio's like, ugh! And that's how we get to the next part. The death of Juanathan, Woahstar. Alright, so Jonathan, thinking that he killed Dio, was like, oh, we're done here. Let's marry that girl that we forgot about until just now. And she's like, okay. And then, like, they get married and stuff, and they get on this boat. But it turns out this weird, the man where they got the medicine from was actually an Asian man, and he doesn't like the people. So he finds a coffin for Dio. And remember when he beheaded him? He wasn't dead from that, because this guy nursed him back to health in a coffin with just his head. And that's where Dio head. So they get on board the ship, these guys, and it turns out the girl we don't care about is pregnante with Juanathan's baby. This little thing, and it's in there. And also there's another baby on the ship to another person who's not her. It's just a random woman who had a baby, child person. So anyway, they get on the ship. Juanathan realizes that he's not dead. He tells this girl here to hide and stuff, and she hides it in the coffin, but Dio's already out of the coffin by the time she hid in the coffin, which is important to know. And then they get into a battle. The vampire dude, they die. They turn to stuff from the magical energy stuff, and then they're on boat, and the boat's on fire because the vampire people did that, and then. Or the Count Chocula people, sorry. And then they're like, battle and stuff. And then he has like weird vines growing out of his neck, and he's like, and he like strangles him and stuff. He's like, and then he beats him up, and then he breaks him out of the little cage thing that he's in. If you look real closely, you can see the cage here. And then he's like holding the head in his arms, and it turns out that Dio stabbed him or lasered him or something. I forgot what it was, but he killed him. And then Juanathan in his dying breath holds Dio here, and they go down in the burning ship together. But before all that happens, Arena, or the girl, I should say, she gets in the boat while pregnant, and she takes the baby because the woman who had this baby died, and she takes it with her. And yeah, and then these people are like. And then it's just a coffin in the sea, and they're floating away. And they make it to part 2, where this time it's America. And don't mind all this mess, we'll explain all of it. I tried to condense the entire story into one PowerPoint, and now you can see it in all of its glory. JoJo part 2 of part 1, Battle Tenders. Alright, first we have Woahstar. And yeah, he's the main JoJo, and it's in America this time. Remember that baby here? She grew up to be Miss Lady Woman, and Miss Lady Woman was the mom of Jose. And then it turned out that when she was pregnant with this baby here, that was the dad. So the girl took care of both of them, but then she gave baby girl away to another Count Chocula man, who she didn't know was Count Chocula man, or would become Count Chocula man. And then, and then she was taught how to fight and stuff. So, anyway, what happened was that Speedwagon is still alive and stuff, and he's a rusty wagon now. He's real old and stuff. And he has the hat from Zipline here when he died. And he's like all like, oh, I'm good and stuff. And he's like, oh no, he got kidnapped by the German man. This is American flag, but pretend it's German. German man. And German man's like, oh, we found stone thingy and stone people, and we're gonna talk about stone people. And then he's like, oh, I don't like that. So Jose here becomes into this gown, this dress up here. If you were wondering what that was, he tries to sneak in to the Mexican border thing, and then he's like, or not Mexican, it's like somewhere in America. But anyway, he's trying to sneak in with tequila, two bottles of tequila, and his outfit. But the German men were like, hey, that's not a girl, that's a dude. And then he beats him up and stuff. And he gets Rusty Speedwagon here back. Rusty Speedwagon's back. And this guy's defeated by a stone man that they were researching. And then, yeah, he die. And then all of a sudden, we got a new character, Caesar Salad, who Jose finds when he's trying to find the Master of Hammond, which is this lady. So he was trying to find her. And then he met Caesar Salad, and Caesar Salad knew how to blow bubbles and stuff, and he battled with bubbles. Caesar Salad then went with Jose, and they found the girl. Her name is Lice. And when they met Lice, she was all like, I have this red stone thing, and these 3 weird pillar people want it. And then they're like, what? That's crazy. Teach us how to do the Hammond thing. And then she's like, okay, I'll do that. And then, yeah, that's what happened. But then, so then they go, and these people awaken because more Germans found these guys. For some reason, the Germans are very prominent in this. And they find the people, and these 3 guys stuck in a stone wall. They come busting out, the pillar men, as we call them, 3 pillars. Anyway, they come busting out and stuff, and they want that red gem. But she's like, no, you can't have the red gem. And they're like, no, you can't have the red gem. And then they're like, oh, we're going to fight you then. And then one of them dies. And the other 2 escape. No, they didn't have the gem. Anyway, so they're like, oh, we got to take them out. They're a big threat because they're super powerful pillars. Look at them, super powerful. And they're like, we got to take him out. And then they go to take out the other 2. This one's dead. Cross this guy out. Anyway, so then they go to fight the second pillar man guy. But then they put rings in this man. They put a ring on his body and stuff. And it was going to kill him if he didn't kill the other pillar people. And then he's like, oh no, we got to kill him. And then he beats up this one. And then he gets to this one, and he beats him up. But before this one dies, he's like, I got the stone because this lady dropped it, and she's unconscious and stuff, and yeah. And he has the stone, and this man's like, I have the power to imbue. Yeah, he puts it in the mask. Remember the mask? He had more of those, and he puts it in the mask, and then he becomes super powerful man. His name's Cars, but he's part human. He's like human, but he can turn into like animal people, and he has the mask, and he's like, oh, I've awakened, and now I can have a bear head for a head, and wings and stuff, and talons and whatnot. And he's like, yeah. And then Jose uses the ultimate battle tactic in all of anime called run away. He runs onto a plane, and he rides it around to a freaking volcano, and he's like, woo, and he crashes it there, and the pillar guy's like, whoa, you crashed it on the volcano, and he's like, yeah, I crashed it on the volcano. And then it turns out German man's not dead, and he has all this new bionic stuff happening with his arms and body and stuff. He has like a machine gun for a chest and like a robot arm and 2 like things here. And he's like, yeah, I'm still alive and stuff, and I came with him. I wish I could select... Oh, you can. Never mind. He's like, I came with him. And then he's there too. And then they fight him. But then the volcano erupts and sends these 2 up in the air. Because, that's just how plot works. And they're like they're in the stratosphere and stuff. And then... And then he jumps off of the little thing. And then he's not smart enough to jump off. And he gets launched into space. And he turns into a popsicle, I tell you. A popsicle. He's dead. And then he comes down. And then they think that he's not dead and stuff. So yeah, he's not dead. And then they're like... And Caesar also died in the process when he fought the this Pillar Man right here, the second one. I forgot to mention that. He's dead. And he sent this red bubble, which was Hamon, and he gave it to him and stuff. And the key to the rings and stuff. Blech. Anyway, Caesar Salad dies. Saddest anime death ever. So anyway, so we have her again. And by the way, I forgot to mention, Weird Lady is also alive during this, so she's really old because like his grandmother, and she's also there, and they're like mourning him and stuff. But it turns out he's alive. He's alive and stuff, and he marries a curly fry person. Yeah, Susie Q, Curly Q. Yeah, that's the name, Curly Q, totally. And then yeah, happily ever after. Then part 3. All right, part 3. In part 3 of JoJo. Part 3, Space Dust Conquistadors, and E-jipt as well. So, this is the characters. So, basically, in this one, we have people, and people are like, hey, we now have ghost things, and they can fight other ghost things. So they're like, you know? Okay. So, basically, ghost things attack other ghost things in this part. So, let's start with the characters. Anyway, we have Mohammed Abdu. Abdu has Magician Rude. Magician Rude is basically fire chicken. Is chicken with muscles that shoots fire. Now we have Polnareff. Polnareff has Silver Chariot. Silver Char. Silver Char is basically knight. He has sword and he looks like a knight. Now we have Jose again, and he's back, and this time he's old Jose, and now he has Whip. Whip, which is actually a vine. That's spiky, and it has thorns on it, and it's purple. So anyway, he can basically use it as like a whip or a lasso, and he could also use it as a thing that can break television screens or cameras, so that he can see stuff as they happen. So he could like sort of see stuff in the present, kind of, but in a different area where he wants to look. Anyway, now we have the main Jotaro. He has Star Platinum. Star Platinum has the ability to punch things really hard and really accurately. And now we have my boy Kakuin. Kakuin can see. Anyway, his stand is Hierophant Gren. Hierophant Gren is very long, and he can slither and stuff. So basically, you can just slither into weird places and stretch and use emeralds and things. It's pretty weird. Anyway, now we have Igu. Igu is Boston Terrier dog, and he has stand, which is called Zafu. Zafu is sandy dog that can do sand things. So basically like Gara, kind of. Alright, moving on. Let's go to the enemies. All the enemies in this part are tarot cards for the first half. So like, for example, we have the Magician, the Chariot, the Hermit, the Star, and the Hierophant, the Fool. Alright. So basically, all the enemies also have tarot cards, and the other second half of this part is Egyptian gods, because that's when they get to Egypt. So anyway, an example of one of these Egyptian gods would be this guy. We call him Pedophile. Pedophile here has the ability to turn anyone into a baby and then do strange things in the bathtub with them. And so here's a victim. Here's our victim, Polnareff here. So now we have the final big boy boss. It's Dio. He's back. He's somehow when the girl was in the coffin, he stole this body. So he like beheaded Juanathan and just took it, and he just snuck in with them, and he just washed up ashore one day, and he's like, I'm alive, and he has the stand Zawarudo. Zawaido. Anyway. His ability is to stop time and throw road rollers at people. This is an example of what it did to Jotaro. Alright, now we're moving on to part 4. Oh, by the way, they beat him, by the way, because he's the boss. Anyway, JoJo part 4, Aquamarine is dolphinless. Alright, let's talk about Jotaro. He returns, but now he's white Jotaro. And he still has Star Platinum, but now it's Star Platinum that can stop time. Alright. Now we have the new Joe, which it focuses on. We have Wafflehead. Wafflehead doesn't like it when you make fun of his head because it's a waffle, and he doesn't like that. His stand is the Fix-It Felix hammer. Basically, his stand punches things, but then once he punches it, he returns stuff back to its normal state. So if you were to punch a nail in a board, like if I were to take a nail out of a board, if you punched the nail, it would go back into the board, basically. Or if you break a door, the door would go back to being a door. Alright, now we have Koichi Pose. Koichi Pose has the ability to have a stand that evolves. First, it starts as an egg, then it evolves into its second form, and then it evolves to its fully evolved form. So here's an example of the creeper evolutions. Alright, now we have Okuyasu. Okuyasu has the ability of the hand, which is a very OP ability that allows its user to erase space, time, and stuff, and erase completely anything it touches, and it's pretty much overpowered. Yeah, but that's just a stand with that no one cares about anyway, so yeah, this is just going to sit right here with Okuyasu. Alright, now we have Rohan. His ability, writing manga. Alright, moving on, we have the main innocent victim of the story, Reimi here, and her ability is to be a ghost. She's a ghost. She's dead because she was murdered. By our next slide, Yoshi Hokage Kira. Yoshi Hokage Kira is basically David Bowie with a stand that's a cat that throws bombs at people. So anyway, he also has. So basically, he's just a serial killer, but the way he kills you is that he has to cut his nails before he does it. Because plot. So anyway, he has he has two different abilities. He has his pink cat that throws bombs by touching you and stuff, and then he has the heat-seeking missile that's also a turtle that blows up when it touches you. Alright, so he has that and that. But the thing about this thing is that... Oh, hold on. Let me just go back more into the story. So basically, the thing about him is that when he sees hands, this is before, this is after. You can put the pieces of the picture together of what that means. Anyway, so basically, he also has there's also a cat in the show, which turned into a stand. And so basically it died and turned into a plant, which can shoot bubbles that erase things, sort of like the hand, kind of. Yeah. So anyway, he has that too in his advantage. So basically, when Yoshi Hokage Kira felt pinned in the anime, his stand evolved into Bites the Dust Stew. Bites the Dust Stew has the ability to rewind time, basically reverting back to a previous time in the anime, basically. Anyway, so the gang finds a way to defeat him while he rewinds times, but his head gets run over by a wheel on an ambulance, and it twists the full 360 degrees. But the thing is, he uses his ability to rewind time, but the problem is he rewind time back to the neighborhood where Reimi is here, and he ends up in this neighborhood. But the thing about Reimi is that she lives in a neighborhood where if you turn around, you will go into the gates of hell itself. So that's why it says here, don't look back. You're not going that way, because that's not fun that way. Alright, now we're moving on to JoBro Part 5, Yellow Ravioli characters. Alright, so in Part 5, they're in Italy with the Mafia, and that's the enemies they have to face. So here we have Ravioli Giovanna and his stand, Golden EXP. Golden EXP has the ability to turn any object into an animal. So for example, he could play the I got your nose game, but he turns your nose into a frog. So yeah. Anyway, so now we have Bruno Bucciarati. Bucciarati has the ability to open holes in objects via zipper. So he can unzip stuff in a wall and open like a little hatch, kind of. Alright, now we have Mista. Mista, I hate 4. So the thing about him is he hates the number 4. And he has a revolver with 6 bullets. So one of the funny things about him is that he has quote-unquote 7 bullets in his 6-bullet revolver thing. So he has 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Because math. Anyway, we also have Cheese Boy. Cheese Boy has the stand Angry Man. Angry Man's ability is to turn to smoke and hurt things. Alright, now we have Airplane Boy. Airplane Boy's stand is Airplane. Airplane drop bombs on people. That's his stand. And now we have Trish. Trish has the ability to summon Old Spice, which allows her to do spicy things. Because I can't remember what exactly she did, because it was never really used. Alright, now moving on to Doppio / Devil Aloe / Dabasu. Alright, Dabasu is the father of Trish here, who is protected by these guys here in the anime. And he wants to kill her because she might know his identity, but she doesn't. Anyway, so we have Doppio. Let's start off with him. So Doppio likes to talk to frogs to communicate with his other half, Devil Aloe. Because basically, these two are virtually the exact same person. They are literally the same person with different personalities. So, Doppio here, his full name is Vinegar, that's why this is here. Anyway, so Doppio has the ability to see into the future, like this. And basically what it looks like is, say you had a forehead, but then a face came out of your forehead. That's what it feels like to be Doppio. Now we have Devil Aloe. Devil Aloe is Dabasu. This is Doppio's personality is supposed to be just a member of the gang, but Devil Aloe is Dabasu. Alright, the thing about Devil Aloe is that his stand is King Crimson, which this is what it looks like in Fortnite form, because, yes. Anyway, his ability is to split time itself. So basically, let me explain the stand to you. So the stand works like this. And that's how it works. Get it? Okay. So anyway, Devil Aloe here is just like, oh, I want this arrow to make my stand stronger. Because this arrow thing here is called a stand arrow. And if it stabs you, it gives you the ability to have a stand like these things here. So he was like, so then it was found out that if you stab your own stand, it evolves. But the thing is, he fails to get the stand, and instead it goes to Ravioli Giovanna here in his stand, Golden EXP, and Golden EXP becomes Golden EXP Requiem. And his ability is to cut out the ending, whereas his ability is to... Get it? You got that? Okay. So anyway, you thought there was another slide, but it was me, Dio. Ooh. Alright. The end. That's all. I didn't watch I didn't read the manga. I'm only anime watcher, okay? Don't spoil it in the comments if you do that. That'll be really sad and stuff. Anyway, made by me, written by me, filmed by me, effects by me. Obelisk. See you guys later. Make sure to like, subscribe.